Welcome to the Action Catalyst.
Welcome, everyone, to the Action Catalyst.
Today we have Greg Boucher,
Terry Rickard,
Pat Roach,
Stuart Lotherington,
Dave Causer,
Alan Morton,
Chris Capon with us. I think you've sold more books than all of us, Chris.
We have, about this point, I think last I told it was a little over 50 million copies.
We found ourselves in an impossible situation.
I'd always been a super hard worker, always active, always had a million jobs when I was in junior high and high school. I'd been working since I was 7 years old. I lied about my age to get a paper route and was delivering papers when I was 7.
In fact, Irina came to me one morning and said, "Hey, Terry, Italy just closed everything but their essential businesses." I said, what do you mean everything? What's an essential business?
Thinking in terms of absolutes never works. Always and never are words that we should always remember never to say.
He said, what are you going to do next? And I said, well, I'm flipping a house right now. And I think, if that works out, I think I could probably make a living at it. I'll just take it from there and see what happens. And he said, oh, you want to be in real estate? Well, we want to be in real estate. And I was like, oh, yeah? And he goes, yeah, why don't we start a real estate company together?
A little known fact is 1 out of every 3 world leaders, heads of states of different countries in the world have been to the United States on an exchange program.
Culture trumps strategy any day.
One of the first lessons I had was just control the things you can control and don't worry about the rest.
That was a surprising lesson for me to learn. When starting a business, thinking that the money would have to be superior to any other option in order for people to want to do it. But once I stopped thinking that way and started thinking what really brings satisfaction, shaping the company became a very different thing.
We know that being prepared is going to be the most important way that we can reduce the risk and stress.
Whether you are fighting the challenge on the front lines of a changing world, or you're having to re-envision where you're going, what you're doing, how you're doing it in business. If as a leader you don't take ownership of a problem or of an opportunity or of a vision, no one is going to follow.
If you're leading with a plan, then that's the best thing you have to offer. And that's not what brings long-term satisfaction.
We build people and we let them build our businesses.
All of these are things that I'm carrying away from this conversation that you do so incredibly well.
Man, I'm energized and love everything that we talked about. So really appreciate your time and being here.
It was truly an honor. I have fantasized about being on this show because I listened to it enough that I'm like, man, what would I say if I was on there?
On behalf of all of our guests, past, the present, future, and our audience members who always are enlightened by this inspiration.
Thank you to the listeners, and we'll talk to you next time.